Alright, I figured I would show you guys this today. This is a Taurus pt92. I had a Beretta 92 years ago, um, probably in the early 90s, with Lethal Weapon and Die Hard and that. It was a gun I always wanted. Well, back then I hit some tight times and had to let it go. And I had been looking for another Beretta 92 a couple years ago. And I had found the Taurus pt92, but it was the M9 clone with the rail underneath and that. And I wanted to buy one, but I didn't really want to buy one. I wanted a Beretta 92. I just didn't want to spend the money that they want now for them. My buddy Jimmy from 30 Years of Collecting, I did that video with him. He bought one of these pt92s when they first came out, and he had such bad problems with it. I don't think he's ever owned a Taurus. I think that was the only one. He hates these pt92s. He won't even shoot this one. It really turned him off on them. So I was very reluctant to buy one. I mean, they're inexpensive for what they are, but still, I mean, nobody wants a gun that's a piece of crap like that SIG P320. I mean, you can't be having junk guns unless it's going to be a wall hanger, and I don't own any wall hangers. But my buddy Mike, I was telling him about it, and he said he had this one for sale. He said he had fired thousands of rounds through this thing, and I believe it by the wear on the barrel and that, you know, the finish and that. And he said I could come shoot it if I wanted it. He'd give me a really good deal on it. So I went up, checked it out, shot a bunch of rounds through it. I mean, this thing ran flawless. So I bought it. I had it for about a year, and I liked it so much that I thought I wanted the M9 version with the rail underneath. And I don't know why I thought that, because I don't really run lights on handguns. But I bought it. That one ran absolutely flawless. I ended up trading that off to get the Remington Model 11 that I built the Rhodesian A5 out of. And I normally don't get rid of guns, but this is the only one I shoot. The M9 version I never shot. This one I just like better. This is actual blued, and I like blue, where the M9 version of this was parkerized. I actually really like this gun. This gun shoots really good. It's just as accurate as my Beretta 92 was. Well, with me shooting it, I'm just an average shooter. I'm not no pro shooter or nothing else. But the one thing that I did end up liking better on this than I liked on the Beretta 92 is the safety's down here. So it's easy to manipulate with your thumb, where the other one was up higher. It wasn't, I mean, you could still manipulate it, but this one just, it's more where a 1911 is. I'm very accustomed to 1911s. They're my favorite semi-automatic. Although I will say that this one's getting right up there with the 1911s. I mean, this gun just, I can't believe how reliable this gun is for what these things sell for new. This one came with Packmeyer grips. I really like the grips. I'm not a big fan of them plastic grips that come on these. I don't know. If I would have kept that one, I would have changed the grip on it. And some of them have wood grips. I've never handled one of them. All of them that I've shot have had the plastic grips. From what I understand, Beretta, if I remember right, had a contract to supply these to military and police in Brazil. When they lost the contract, they just closed up, moved out. Taurus bought the factory in Brazil and bought the rights to build these Beretta 92 clones. When they bought the factory, they got all the machining and everything. So, I mean, these are basically Berettas. You know, they're built on Beretta machines, Beretta tooling with Beretta in a Beretta factory, and just Taurus put their name on it. And I believe it, because like I said, this gun shoots as good. Like I said, then again, with me shooting on it, I'm not no professional shooter or nothing else. But this gun shoots as good as the Beretta 92 I had. And probably a half to third of the price, even new. So just because people call these things, like Jimmy called these things garbage. He actually asked me recently what I thought of Beretta or not Beretta, Taurus revolvers, and I told him I've owned a dozen of them over the years, and I have never, ever, ever had a problem with a Taurus revolver. Maybe I just got lucky. Maybe this is, you know, a gem in a pile of turds as far as these Taurus pt92s go. Or maybe he got the one bad one. Or maybe it's a 50-50, I don't know. But I know this gun is super reliable. I really enjoy this gun. The reason why I don't carry this, I don't carry a lot of other guns, why I carry the small J-frames and that is, when you load this up with 17 rounds and then you got one in the chamber and that, this is quite a bit heavier than my little snub-nosed revolvers. It's too big to carry appendix, or at least for me. It's, I guess it could be carried inside the waistband, but the few times that I've carried this has been like when me and the wife went out to dinner and I got a coat on or a heavy sweater or something where I can carry this on my strong side and then it's covered. But I did notice that when I carry these, or even my 1911s, I don't like my clothes super tight, and I don't like cranking my belt so tight that it feels like it's cutting off my guts. So for me to wear my belt comfortably with this, or even one of my 1911s, I'm walking around constantly pulling my pants up. And that's honestly why I carry the small snub-nosed revolvers, is they don't weigh that much. I don't have that problem, and I can carry them appendix style, meaning that if I'm in the car, it's not, the center console's not the way to try and reach it from the side. It's right there in front. I can pull it out and come up like this if I have to. So, and in 22, 23 years of carrying, you know, knock on wood, I've never had to even use my concealed carry gun, and I work Detroit and Flint, so, and hopefully I never will. So for me, 5 shots out of a revolver just makes sense. But I will say that if I ever ran across a good enough deal on a Beretta 92, I would buy another one just to have one. Because I would like to have a Beretta. But this thing actually, the trigger pull on it's nice. Double action smooth. If I never get a Beretta 92, I'll be totally happy with this. But this is the Taurus pt92 AF 9mm, and like I said, I really like this gun, but just because people call them garbage guns doesn't necessarily mean they're garbage guns. And you know, I'm not going to say every one of these is great, I don't know, but if you wanted something like this, or you wanted any gun, try and find some place where you can rent guns and check one out. Or if one of your buddies, like my buddy Mike had this one, hey, I got one of them for sale, have them meet up with you and go shoot it. But I mean, if you want something like this, absolutely get one. Just make sure that you're getting a good one, because like I said, I don't know if they're all good, I just know this one is good. But this is my Taurus pt92, and like I said, I just want to show this because the SIG P320 videos are popping up my feed really bad about them going off in the holster and that. And, you know, I'll take a chance on, Jimmy told me his jammed up all the time and just wouldn't feed. You know, that's not the end of the world. You can fix it, send it back to get it fixed, whatever. If you're not going to use it as a carry gun, it's not the end of the world if it, you know, it jams until you figure it out. But having a gun that goes off in the holster that can go off without touching the trigger, that's an absolute no-go with me. Um, Normally, I wouldn't even pay much attention to that kind of stuff. For one thing, I'm never going to buy a SIG P320 because it's polymer framed, and I'm not a big polymer frame guy. But there has to be something to the SIG P320 stuff about them going off in that, because lots of people are posting videos of them going off, and enough that I'll never own one. And I've only owned two SIGs. I'm not a SIG fanboy, and I don't hate SIGs. I had two SIGs in my life. One was I think it was called a 2022. Bought that years and years ago. Great gun. Kept it for a few months. Was reliable. Ran like a dream. But it was polymer framed, and I thought I had to have a polymer framed gun, and then it ended up sitting. I just didn't really care for it, so I got rid of it. It wasn't that I didn't care for it. It just didn't excite me. I didn't enjoy, didn't really enjoy shooting it. Just the grip didn't feel right in my hand, and just, I don't know. Like I said, just didn't do nothing for me. And then 4 or 5 years ago, I thought I had to have a polymer frame for a truck gun to keep in the center console, so, because I carry a 5-shot revolver. And I bought a SIG pt92. The grip on that gun felt really good. But again, something about it, it was cool at first, but within a month, I stopped carrying it in the truck. I stopped shooting it, just lost interest in it, and it really didn't do nothing for me. So I ended up giving it to my oldest daughter when she got her CPL for her carry gun. It's a 357 SIG. It's reliable. It never jams, never misfires. Trigger pulls okay on it, but I mean, it's a self-defense gun. It's not a hunting gun or competition gun or nothing like that. For her, for a self-defense gun, it is perfectly adequate. So I'm not bashing on SIGs. I'm saying most of the time when people say a gun is a garbage gun, I kind of take it with a grain of salt. But with these SIG P320s, I really believe there's something to it, and I had forgotten what the SIG I gave my daughter was. And I started thinking, man, I hope that ain't a 320. So last time I was over there, I was like, hey, grab that SIG for me and let me see it. And she brought it out, and it was a 250. And I told her, I said, don't buy the 320. I said, there's a lot of stuff going on the internet, but I would hate for her to have that thing in her purse or on her person and it go off and shoot her or my grandson or something. So I just told her, I said, stay away from the 320. Don't mess with it. But anyway, this is my garbage pt92 clone that it's actually, I consider it a gem. Really, really like this gun. This gun does go in the truck fairly often in the center console for a truck gun. Sometimes it's the mare's leg, sometimes it's an AR pistol, but this gun's been known to go in the center console periodically. Goes through the rotation, and 17 rounds in the mag, one in the chamber. That's 18 rounds. Throw an extra round magazine in the center console. It's almost 40 rounds. It's like 36 rounds. That's pretty good for a truck gun. You're not shooting long range, or for me, my idea of a truck gun doesn't have to shoot long range, because the way it was explained to me in my CPL class, if you're shooting quote unquote self-defense and it's not up close and personal, you're going to be arrested, you're going to be charged, and it's going to be up to you to prove that it was self-defense. But I just wanted to show you guys this. I'm trying to get in the habit of putting out videos consistently. When I do that, I seem to get more views and it seems to get recommended. So here it is. This weekend I plan on doing a combination gun video with the drillings and the Cape guns. I'm going to read from notes because as I'm getting older, my memory it mixes stuff up in that. But I'm going to try and give you a good history on the two Cape guns and the drilling that I have, and a little bit of history on how the designs came about. So I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see you on the flip side.